All right, we're on to the Ranchos Los Amigos gait terminology, which begins with initial contact as the heel contacts the floor. The loading response begins just after initial contact, when the body weight is being transferred on the leg and the entire foot is making contact. It ends as the opposite foot leaves the ground, which brings us to mid-stance. So mid-stance begins as the opposite foot leaves the ground and the body is directly over the weight-bearing limb. And at this point we transition into terminal stance. Begins as the heel of the weight-bearing leg rises and ends at initial contact of the opposite foot. Pre-swing begins at initial contact and weight is shifting onto the opposite leg and ends just before the toes of the weight-bearing leg leave the ground, which then brings us to initial swing when the toes leave the ground and ends as the opposite foot is ends as the swing foot is opposite the weight-bearing leg and the knee is in maximal flexion. Next is mid-swing, begins when the swing foot is opposite the weight-bearing foot and ends with the swing leg is moved in front of the body and the tibia is in a vertical position. Terminal swing begins as the tibia is in the vertical position and ends just prior to initial contact. So again, terminal swing, lost my balance, is when the tibia is in a vertical position and ends just prior to initial contact.